catch up with you, see where you're going with some of the legislation. Because I know we.
Hello, everyone. If you wouldn't mind taking a seat or filling in the back of the room and the sides of the room, if we could please keep this entrance to the room clear so that the elected officials can walk in together, that'd be great. But please find a seat. Thank you so much.
So did you ever get a text message? They did. Okay. I'm just gonna video check at this point because I can't get logged in, so I'm just gonna video check. When you want me to check it one more time? Okay, I'll do it for you. No, I got the password. I need to get the code. No. That may have expired. No.
Hey, if everybody could go ahead and find their seats, we're going to start the program here shortly. We're going to start off, all the speakers are going to speak, we're going to do a Q&A session, and then we're going to take 2 group pictures, one with the delegation and then one with all the municipal leaders. Thank you all for being here this morning.
Wow. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Great morning. Y'all have seats. Please take seats. Please take seats. Good morning, y'all. Y'all. Listen, it is. I know it's a little rainy outside, but all that means is that there's tears of joy being spread all over the place right now, and we are so grateful. And I got to tell you, I can't. I know I can't start naming every single person here and every single name because we would literally be here all day. And I think the sun goes down at 5 p.m. and I know folks got busy days going on. But I cannot stress enough how big this is for Prince George's County. And Madam County Executive, we are so grateful because this is a big moment. I cannot stress enough how big this is for the state of Maryland. But also, I can't stress how important this is for the American taxpayer. I can't stress enough how important this is for law enforcement. Because there's currently an FBI building that just last weekend had a piece of concrete almost hit a person who's working inside of the building. They need and deserve better, and in Maryland, we will deliver that. Now, I know that we're coming up on Veterans Day, and I want to give a happy birthday to our Marine Corps brethren. Hoorah, hoorah. And a happy Veterans Day to everybody else. But I know there's something in military that we learn, and it's a phrase that nothing given, everything earned. Nothing given, everything earned. And what we see here is this is a team that worked in unison. This is a team, Maryland, that worked together. And this is a team and this is a room who illustrated and highlighted the fact that partnership produces progress. And only partnership can produce progress. We're excited about this because this is the right decision for the country. And this is the right decision for the FBI too. And we know that because we are getting constant examples and reminders about the fact that we have to be able to move with a sense of urgency to be able to get this building right. That we're seeing across the country, we're watching an increased rate of hate crimes that are taking place in our communities, in our homes of worship, and all throughout our country. At a time when national security is changing and the national security needs are changing, and at a time when there is an increased focus on cybersecurity, at a time when access to affordable transit is not just a bonus, it is a necessity for employees in the modern workforce. And in this time and in this moment, there is absolutely no question that the FBI belongs in the state of Maryland and it belongs in Prince George's County. We have always known that we won on the merits. And actually, that's not just true now. That was true over a decade ago when the process began. We know that our state is going to benefit. This decision, this is going to bring over 7,500 jobs to the state of Maryland, will generate over $4 billion of economic activity. And this is going to solidify our state as the tech and the cyber capital of the United States. But we also know this, that in Maryland, the FBI is going to be more effective. That in Maryland, the FBI will be more protected. That in Maryland, the FBI will be more successful at meeting its national security mission. We believe in the FBI. We are proud to support the FBI. We are thrilled that the FBI is coming to the state of Maryland. And I say this to everybody in the FBI. We're excited to work with you. We're excited to work together with you. And we're excited to work together to make sure that in this moment, we're not just going to get it right, but we're going to make you proud as well. But I know in order to get there, we needed a champion. And we got our champion. We got our quarterback, the person who's been spearheading this for over a decade. A person who, if you ever get a chance to have a conversation with Steny Hoyer, I can guarantee you in the first 30 seconds, FBI together will come up in that conversation. He has been thorough. He has been diligent. He's been indefatigable. He's been data-driven. He didn't just help to make the argument. He helped to close the deal. We are so thankful that not only is Steny Hoyer ours, but we are so thankful that the future of the FBI is going to be in very good hands here in Prince George's County and in the state of Maryland. And that's because Steny Hoyer helped to get us here. I am proud. I am proud to turn this microphone over to the visionary and the architect, our friend, Congressman Steny Hoyer.
Well, that was a low-key introduction. I came just to hear the governor speak. Hello, team. Hi. Barbara Mikulski is not here, but Barbara Mikulski talked about Team Maryland. And although she's not in this room, she was there at the time that was critically important as we started this effort and moved it forward. I am so honored to be with the team because it was everybody joining together. Senator Cardin said, and we were just back in the room talking about it, everybody joined hands on this effort and had FBI on their forehead everywhere they went. The council, the county executive. Angela, thank you so much for the leadership you have shown in making this happen. Rashern Baker, where's Rashern? Rashern Baker. And these folks are all going to speak, and all of them played a critical role in getting us to this day, which is a victory, as the governor said, for the FBI. A victory for the FBI and all the employees and all those extraordinary people who serve our country and whose mission is to keep our country safe and keep our people safe. And we're going to give them a facility that will be the best law enforcement facility in the world here in Greenbelt, Maryland. I'm proud to stand here, obviously. This is a huge victory. Bob Mueller, the director of the FBI, 14 years ago in 2009, came into my office. He said, our building is falling down. Our people are at risk who work here. The people who walk around our building are at risk. And it was designed for a law enforcement agency that no longer exists. We're in a new era. And we need a building that accommodates the way we do the work that we now do. And that's what this building is going to do right here in Greenbelt, Maryland. So this is an effort that was started by the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And the result of the work that so many people have done in those 14 years is going to advantage the FBI and America because its mission is going to be better accomplished. The FBI needed a site in the region that was secure, affordable, and accessible, one suitable for the Bureau's crucial work. With that goal in mind, the GSA conducted a thorough, transparent, and objective site selection process. Team Maryland stood united throughout this process as we presented the facts and made our case for why our sites were the best choice for the FBI. There is no doubt in anybody's mind here, or I suggest you ultimately at the GSA, that an objective reading of all the facts led to the selection of the FBI headquarters at Greenbelt, Maryland, because it's best for the country, best for the FBI, and best for the people. Our effort was always bipartisan. I want to thank Governor Hogan. He's not here either. But Governor Hogan stepped up with all of the Democrats and other Republicans in this state and said, this is the place for the FBI. This is not a partisan effort. It was a bipartisan. I thank Governor Hogan for his. Each side, you're going to read some articles, but each side had an equal opportunity to participate in the consultations and make their pitch. And you would have been so proud of this team, led by our governor, joined in by all of us here, at the GSA and the FBI in making a presentation on the facts. No pressure, no this, no that, no something else, on the facts. And on the facts, they did what we thought they would do, chose Greenbelt as the site for the new FBI. They weighed the facts and found that Greenbelt is the most transit accessible, provides the greatest schedule certainty of getting this building done, costs the taxpayers less. By that much? By that much? Over $1 billion better buy for the taxpayer at Greenbelt, Maryland. This historic day for the FBI is the result of the cooperation and resolve of so many of all of us in this room and around this state. I want to thank Ike Leggett. Ike Leggett is the former county executive of Montgomery County. Montgomery County. At the very beginning, Ike Leggett said, this is the proper place for the FBI to be placed. I already thanked Barb Mikulski. Chris Van Hollen is going to speak. Ben Cardin is going to speak. I'm going to introduce Ben in a second, as well as our entire delegation. I should mention the Attorney General. He left our delegation.
But he came back.
But he's back here. And why is he back? Because he worked very hard to make this happen. And very frankly, he and I just about shared this whole district with Landover and Greenbelt. I also appreciate the tremendous work, as I said, that Governor Hogan did. But let me tell you, I won't mention his name, but somebody came up to me and said, you know, this was an unfair competition. I said, what do you mean? It was he was from Virginia, by the way. It's unfair competition. So I thought he was going to give it, you know. He said, yeah, you had more. We had Youngkin. Just saying. Just saying. I want to thank President Ferguson and Speaker Jones and their colleagues in the General Assembly. Maryland stepped up to the role. I want to thank the mayor of this great city called Greenbelt. I want the Greenbelt council people to stand up, please. Greenbelt, Greenbelt. I want the county council to stand up. All right. Prince George's County. And I want us, the ones who aren't standing here, I want members of the State Senate and the House of Delegates to stand up. Yes. And I want all the rest of you to stand up because we're a team. Come on, stand up, stand up. This team was made up of every political group, every generation, every level of government. Together we put Maryland's best foot forward, and it was good enough and great enough to be selected correctly as the site of an extraordinary law enforcement I speak for all of us when I say we are eager to welcome the FBI to Maryland as soon as possible. I join the governor, the delegation, the governor and his team, lieutenant governor, the attorney general, the comptroller, all going to be working to make this the best move any federal agency has ever made. I'm proud of what we've done. And I thank the governor, and I thank all of you. Together we go further. Is that it? Something like that. And that's what happened here. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to a partner that I've had since 1966. When he and I were elected to the state legislature together with Paul Sarbanes. 1966, he went to the House, I went to the Senate. I thought the Senate was the more important body. I've changed my mind on that. My friend Ben, who made such a difference in this success. Ben Cardin, our senior senator.
Stenny, thank you very much. You should know that my views have also changed about what is more important since 1966 also. And looking at the dysfunction of the House, I think I'm right today, so.
I can't disagree.
So it was 14 years ago when Stenny learned that there was a need for a new FBI facility, and he saw an opportunity. He saw an opportunity not only to get a facility that the FBI needed, but to do something in Prince George's County that was long overdue. This county was overlooked for many years on the types of federal facilities that we saw in the Washington area. Steny Hoyer decided that he would come up with a strategy to correct that and to bring the FBI to Prince George's County. Governor Moore, you're absolutely right. He is our architect of the plan to bring the FBI to Prince George's County. And as I said to this group privately, it would not have happened if we didn't have the unity of a team. A team at every level to make this possible. And I want to take you back a little bit because it started in 2011 when we had to pass a prospectus in the authorizing committees, and we've acted since that. I want to thank Anthony Brown for his help as a member of the Congress on the authorizing committee in the House of Representatives. And we wanted to make sure it would be fair competition, because we know that at times, if you don't get the authorization right, you're not going to have fair competition. And we worked to get the authorization right. And Steny, thank you for mentioning Barbara Mikulski. She got money put in the budget earlier to make this a serious effort early. Originally, we had $1.2 billion appropriated during that period of time, and Chris Van Hollen and Steny Hoyer have taken that charge on the appropriations process to make sure that stayed in and we had the right language to move forward. 2016, we thought it was over. We thought we would be attending a meeting like this in 2016. But something happened. Donald Trump was elected president. And his conflict of interest in regards to the Hoover building stopped the project. We didn't give up, Team Maryland. We thought we were going to win in 2016 because we had the support of the state and local government. Thank you to the President of the Senate, Speaker of the House, our controller. You put up the resources to make this a reality. Governor Moore, thank you for your leadership. County Executive Officer Brooks, thank you for continuing to make it clear that what is needed to be done to put the best offer forward was always there. We had Team Maryland. And Steny, thank you for mentioning Ike Leggett. We had the support of the regional county leaders that this was going to be a Prince George's County effort because, quite frankly, the prospectus could have been worded in a different way that enlarged the areas, that could have included more of Maryland. But no, Maryland leadership said it belongs in Prince George's County. We were united in that effort. So we're set back in 2016 and 2017 with Donald Trump. We didn't stop. The incredible effort of Steny Hoyer, of Chris Van Hollen, what we did in the appropriation process, Anthony Brown and Ben Cardin on the authorization process, we made it clear that not one dime would be spent on Pennsylvania Avenue, that the FBI needed a suburban facility. We kept the hope alive during the Trump years. Joe Biden's elected president. Hope is there. We get it back on track. We, again, with the help of Chris and Steny, we put together language in the appropriation process and in hearings in the Environment and Public Works Committee, go forward with the 3 locations in competition. We put it back on track. That's what Team Maryland did. We kept it alive. We knew that on any fair competition, it would not be close. Prince George County would win. Steny told you the reasons why. Steny, it's the first time I've seen him as conservative. $1 billion is a conservative number. It's going to save a lot more than that. We know that. The Prince George's site is ready for development now. Virginia doesn't have that opportunity. It's going to be delayed a period of time. We know that. We got the best location for the mission. We know that. And it's the right thing to do, as President Biden has articulated the equity issues for those communities that have not been treated fairly in the past. So we're optimistic. Come September 2022, another obstacle thrown in our way. We saw the hand of the director of the FBI trying to change what should be a fair, competitive, open process to steer it to Virginia. We said, that's not fair. And once again, Steny Hoyer, Chris Van Hollen, I played a role in this as well, to make sure that the FY23 appropriation bill told, what did we tell GSA to do? Comply with congressional intent. That's what we said. Comply with congressional intent. We're the policy arm of government. So we got that passed. And then comes January 2023, we got a gift, Governor Moore. And we got to come up with a strategy overnight, literally overnight. He's still enjoying the inaugural ceremonies, and he has to worry about the FBI. And he does. And Governor, you came up with a strategy for that March presentation to GSA that was just made our case so clearly. Every one of us participated in a way that was overwhelming to the GSA to come up with a fair process. We'll compete, but give us a fair process. We were able to do that. We knew we were going to win if it's a fair process. And it was either 2 nights ago or yesterday morning, depending on when we got the notice. It was a little confusing on the notice date. The GSA did what was right. It was a transparent process. Now, Director Ray's going to throw another hurdle at us. And we're going to overcome that. The decision has been made. The GSA has released all of the information on how they made the decision. Transparency. It's there. Take a look at it. It's not a close call. It's not a close call. Governor, we're proud to be on your team. Steny, congratulations. I'm going to tell you, the governor laid out what this means for Maryland, what it means for the FBI, what it means for, this is an exciting moment. And we're all proud to be part of this team. I say this frequently. This will be my, next year will be my 18th year in the United States Senate. You only get one senator to serve with in your state at a time. I've had Barbara Mikulski and Chris Van Hollen. What a blessing I've been to have 2 incredibly great partners. Chris Van Hollen has been engaged on this issue every minute. He chairs the critical subcommittee on the Appropriations Committee for the GSA. He has their attention. All he asked is to make sure it was done fairly. And he was successful in accomplishing that. I am so proud to have him as my colleague and friend, Senator Chris Van Hollen.
Well, thank you. It's great to look out at this wonderful room for the celebration. Let me start by thanking my friend Ben. Thank you for the introduction, but most of all, Ben Cardin has served this state and this county and this country so well. This is one example of many, it's a big one, of how he put his shoulder to the wheel to help deliver for the state of Maryland, Prince George's County. Thank you, Ben Cardin. And this is first and foremost a great day for the men and women of the FBI and the mission of the FBI, so they can continue to do the important federal law enforcement work on behalf of the American people in a secure setting and a setting where the ceilings are not literally falling down around them. And it is a very great day for the state of Maryland. Governor, thank you for jumping right in, helping pull that all together in terms of our presentation to the GSA. You have helped lead us as we head into the final round here and now get this final decision. Governor Moore, thank you for all your good work. To Prince George's County, Madam County Executive. Madam County Executive, thank you. Thank you for your leadership, Rashawn Baker. Thank you. The baton was passed smoothly. Everybody was on the same page, and it is really a great day for Prince George's County. And to the great city of Greenbelt, Mr. Mayor, thank you all for what you've done. You have been there for this process. And of course, as others have said, the person who really kicked this off 14 years ago, representing Prince George's County, Steny Hoyer. Thank you, Steny. Thank you. Thank you. He has been the through line here. Now, let me just say that the decision that was made is a final decision. This is a final decision. We have been at this for over 10 years. There is no going back. We are going forward. The FBI headquarters will be built here in Greenbelt, Prince George's County. Now, it was mentioned that many, many years ago, my amazing predecessor, Barbara Mikulski, began to put aside money for the future of the FBI. Because of that, and working with Congressman Hoyer and others, and the money that we put in since I've been in the Senate, we now have $1 billion set aside is a nest egg for the FBI building. That $1 billion is ready to go. Last year, we worked to add through the appropriations process $375 million, and in this year's fiscal year 24 bill, the Senate bill has another $375 million for the FBI. We need to make sure we fight to keep that there, and we will continue that fight as we go forward. Now, let me just say a word, as Senator Cardin did, about the comments by the director of the FBI. And I first want to read the quote from the GSA administrator, Administrator Cardahan, who said, quote, that she's disappointed that the FBI director is now making inaccurate claims directed at our agency, our employees, our site selection plan, and our process. I'm going to be a little less diplomatic. It is absolutely wrong of Director Chris Wray to impugn and question the character, the integrity, and the independence of the site selection administrator. She's an expert in the field of real estate and transit. She's a public servant, and she had a distinguished career as an Army veteran as we work toward tomorrow and Veterans Day. Now, it has always been true that the director of the FBI worked to undermine this process. As Senator Cardin said, when they came up with this new criteria a while ago, it was clearly lopsided. And you can find numerous public statements about how the director of the FBI himself wanted to stay exactly where they are in their current headquarters in D.C., which, as we all know, is falling apart. That's on the public record. So it is really important that we keep the focus on getting across the finish line. I will point out that in 2014, earlier in this process, there was a panel that was convened by the GSA that decided not to recommend that we even consider the Virginia sites. There was a panel convened by the GSA that recommended that we not consider the Springfield sites for a whole host of reasons. That panel was overruled by the Site Selection Authority based on a difference in judgment. So the reality is that this process that the director is complaining about now is the very process that even put Springfield under consideration in the first place. I'm just going to read from the General Counsel of the GSA's statement on this. Reopening the process after the issuance of the final SSD would be subject to review under the Administrative Procedures Act, which would require legally sufficient reason to start over. As noted previously, we have found no legal support in the record to justify overturning the site selection decision. End of statement, end of story. We are moving on. The FBI will be in Greenbelt, Prince George's County, Maryland. And that is going to redound to the benefit of the men and women of the FBI who deserve a great new home. And I know the people of Prince George's County, the people of Greenbelt, the people of Maryland are going to give the men and women of the FBI a very warm welcome and a wonderful new home. So let's get on with it. And let me now introduce our great Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller, who, as you know, is an expert in many things, including transportation, including transit. She's an engineer, so she's going to be very involved as we put together the detailed plans for the new FBI headquarters right here in Greenbelt, Prince George's County, Maryland. Madam Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The GSA selecting Greenbelt, Maryland as a new home for the FBI headquarters is a game changer for the people of Maryland and gorgeous Prince George's County. I want to express my sincere gratitude to every one of the people that made this possible. A great big shout out to our forever leader, Congressman Steny Hoyer, for his decades of commitment and perseverance to secure this facility. And for the record, in Maryland, we spell tenacity, S-T-E-N-Y. Thank you to Maryland's entire congressional delegation, state and local elected leaders, the GSA, DOJ, FBI, and my partner, Governor Wes Moore, who understands that things don't just happen, they're made to happen. The Greenbelt location is the most transit accessible facility, allowing for the easy and daily commute of thousands of FBI employees, contractors, and visitors that will work at the new headquarters, and has the potential to take thousands of cars off the road, emphasizing both the FBI's and Maryland's commitment to responsible environmental stewardship. Additionally, from a recruitment perspective, access to Greenbelt Metro makes FBI a far more attractive employer because today's employees demand public transit access. Maryland is a state where we leave no one behind. So welcome to Maryland, FBI. We've been waiting for you for a long, long, long time. And now I'd like to pass it on to Congressman Glenn Ivey.
Oh, whoa. I appreciate that very much. Good morning. Good morning. And it's an extra good morning, isn't it? It doesn't get much better than this. I want to take a moment and thank some of my previous speakers here. Ben Cardin, you can tell he spent a few Sunday mornings in Prince George's County, can't you? Rabbi, Reverend, I don't know, you know. But thanks so much for your work. And I definitely wanted to thank Chris, too. I don't think I've ever seen Chris get quite that worked up. My goodness. A little outrage here, and I'll be right there in a second, too. But I do want to thank Anthony Brown for his leadership role in the work that he did on this. And I definitely want to thank him for deciding not to run for re-election. My brother, yes. Pass that baton. But Steny Hoyer, yeah, I just want to take a moment there and thank him for the work that he's done. He wouldn't remember, but I first met him in 1987 when I'd gone down to the Hill to start working for Congressman John Conyers. And I didn't know, that I would live in Prince George's County because I hadn't moved out here yet. But the rise and the career that he's had has been astonishing. I really think he's been the greatest majority leader the United States Congress has ever seen. And the work that he did on the FBI is just one of many variations of the things that he's done across the county. You know, if you can, we won't do it now because we'd be here all morning if we went through all of the projects and the work and the impact that Steny's had here on the state. Governor Moore, wow, man, the #1 draft pick. We got the lottery pick, and he took us to the championship. You know, it's beautiful. Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much for your work as well. Look. We did the presentation on the merits. We won it fair and square. So I was quite shocked to get up and pick up the paper and see the statements that were being made. Virginia colleagues, I get it. They got to speak to their base, you know. They're like, why didn't we get it? You got to say something. The FBI director's comments were particularly astonishing to me because I thought they were extra irresponsible. Because he's the guy who leads law enforcement in the United States. I'm on the House Judiciary Committee, so I've sat there for hearings where the Republicans on the other side are hurling irresponsible allegations at him about the FBI and him and some of his, and he defends them and he's outraged when they do that. The statements he made about that public servant were just over the line, and there was no factual basis for it, none at all. And he knew that she wouldn't have a platform to respond to that kind of thing. So I just think it's disappointing, to say the least, that he would do that. And then on top of that, you know, you're going to complain about the process. He never mentioned anything about the merits. In fact, our Virginia colleagues never did either. Wonder why that is. You know, because if you look at it, it's been alluded to a moment ago, but there's over 1 billion reasons that it should be here in Greenbelt as opposed to Springfield. It's hard to miss it. In fact, as Steny suggests, it's probably closer to $1.5 billion in savings to the American taxpayers. So I don't think the American taxpayers should have to spend an extra $1 billion so some FBI officials can have a shorter commute to the office every day. And I'm tired of the redlining that's been here, that's been with the federal government. This is a step finally, this is a step moving away from that. Thank God it's happened. Steny fought through it for decades, but this is the step in the right direction, and I thank him for that too. But in addition to being cheaper, it's a shovel-ready project at Greenbelt. The site's encumbered. That means covered with buildings that they would have to tear down after they empty out of federal employees who were already working there. Probably had a year or two to the process. And guess what? The Greenbelt site is walking distance to Metro. Springfield's not. So when you want to talk about the facts, well, they don't want to talk about the facts, I guess. But when you look at the facts, as GSA did, we won in every category, and this project had to come to Greenbelt. It was the only right decision that could be made. And I want to thank GSA for standing up, for defeating the political pressure on the other side, and doing the right thing on the merits. So thank you to them for the work, the decisions they made. We've got our work cut out for us. I think, Steny's already gotten working on making sure and Chris too, making sure the process moves forward, takes the next steps, because it's not like a building just shows up there on Monday, right? There's a long process that goes. Part of that long process is making sure that people who live here in Prince George's County get to do some of those construction and building trades jobs that are going to be coming. Absolutely. We need to make sure that happens here. I'm also excited because this is right in the middle of the Research Triangle area here in northern Prince George's County. We got NASA and NOAA, we got the University of Maryland, we got the Agriculture Research Center. FDA is not too far away. This is a great addition to those crown jewels that can work together, that can have a lot of coordination and synergy, and continue to move Prince George's County in the right direction towards the future. So thank goodness for that. And I want to thank the county executive and the governor for their vision and trying to make sure that we move that forward and maximize those opportunities here for Prince Georgians. So thank you to you all for that work. All right, I got a little worked up here like Chris did, so let me slow down for a second. But I do want to turn it over, though. We've got a county exec who's been doing an outstanding job. One way that we know that at the federal level is we keep having to come out here to work together and do press conferences about federal projects that she's gotten done and moved forward with to help people here in Prince George's County. She's done an outstanding job as county executive. We might not be able to keep her too much longer, but we're looking forward to the future for you and your career and the great work that you're doing now. So, County Executive Angela Alsobrooks.
Thank you. Well, good morning. Good morning. Well, I want to just first hear a little bit from Team Prince George's. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful morning this is. Team Prince George's. Yes, it really is an honor to be here today, and I truly mean that. It is such an honor. I am so proud to stand with Team Maryland to celebrate the new FBI headquarters in Prince George's County. This truly is one of the proudest and greatest honors of my career to be here today. And I have so many very sincere thank yous as well. First, to thank the quarterback who's already been acknowledged and who spoke, our leader, Steny Hoyer, to thank you so much, sir. Like so many others, I have to tell you that I agree that the congressman spoke one language. It was called FBI. I have been with him in many, many settings where he had me come aside and say, I want to just have you talk to yet another person regarding the FBI. And so this has really been an effort of love and tenacity on his behalf. And all of the other incredible leaders who are here today, members of our federal delegation who have been just incredible, who are not only excellent public servants, but who are effective. You've heard that they have been here now on many occasions to announce first of its kind grant funding that has come throughout the county, but I want to thank them so much for delivering for Prince George's County. And I want to thank Team Prince George's, all of the delegates, senators, our council members who battled for our hometown, working side by side as a team. And this team has so much faith that they went so far as to secure $200 million from the State Transportation Trust Fund because they had faith. They knew that this day was coming. And so for all of your hard work, they are here this morning. I am so proud to be your colleague and want to thank all of you for your tremendous work. And for everyone who stood with us here just last year at the Greenbelt Metro Station on November 4th, just one short year ago, and we demanded together that we would be treated fairly. They tried to change the rules, and we stood together and demanded that they change them back. And so I want to thank all of you for being here with us then. America's first black Supreme Court Justice, Thurgood Marshall from Maryland, once said, "A man can make what he wants for himself if he truly believes that he must be ready for hard work and many heartbreaks." And all of us who work to better our communities feel this quote. For every success, for every step forward, there are a dozen other ideas, initiatives, and projects that we have passionately pursued but never came to be. I know everyone standing here with me has felt this cycle, and there is no greater joy than watching our hard work on behalf of the people we represent pay off. And there is likewise no bigger heartbreak when watching something that we've truly passionately fought for that didn't happen. So to be here with you today, at this moment, with this news from the GSA is a monumental honor, a rare occurrence where after a decade of delay, hard work has delivered our community a once-in-a-generation investment that will permanently improve millions of lives across the state and Prince George's County. Another fact, this once-in-a-generation investment is a tremendous honor, but it is not a surprise. Simone Biles is not surprised when she wins a gymnastics tournament. Serena Williams is not surprised when she wins Wimbledon. Kevin Durant is not surprised when he's named an all-star in the NBA. When you dedicate your life's work to a single pursuit, you expect that sometimes you have difficulty, but you're never surprised when you win. Over the past decade, dedicated public servants have worked hard on all fronts to bring new investments to our county. Along the way, we planted seeds that have grown, helping improve life for residents in our communities. Just during the course of this administration, we've secured hundreds of millions of dollars of new investment for New Carrollton, including raised grant funding to make that community more walkable and bikeable. We've secured funding for a regional trail system to connect our residents and visitors with great outdoors. We've secured funding for new health care facilities, new schools, and hundreds of millions of dollars for transit-oriented development along our Blue Line corridor. And all of these wins have created economic anchor points across our community, helping to create new opportunity. And it shows. Between 2011 and 2021, and yes, I want to just thank one more time, we have our former county executive, Rashawn Baker. I want to thank him and all of the men and women of his administration. I'd also be remiss if I did not mention someone who is absolutely incredible. Two people, Angie Rogers, who I don't know is here today, but I also want to say, David Iannucci, today is your day. Prince George's County, between that time period, added 55,000 jobs. Back in 2011, our unemployment rate was 7.6%. And as of October 2023, it is 1.9%. And the 55,000 jobs that we added over that decade was the greatest sum of jobs added to any jurisdiction in the state of Maryland. Thank you so much, Team Prince George's. Now, after over a decade of hard work, steady improvement, and our fair share of heartbreak, the FBI is coming to Greenbelt. This multi-billion-dollar investment is a game changer for our county. The new headquarters will anchor transformational investment in amenities, housing, and offices. Our schools will become hubs that lead the nation, with programs on the cutting edge supporting the FBI's mission and attracting top talent from across the globe. And our residents will benefit from a rising tide of opportunity that lifts all of us up. Prince George's County is a gem of a community with gorgeous land and absolutely incredible people. But talent alone does not bring success. Success requires resources. Today, because of our hard work and perseverance, we're now seeing some more resources come here. These new resources will now be the foundation for more of our region's talented people to have new opportunities. opportunities that permanently reshape our community for the better. This equitable selection by the GSA means so much more than another building. Having the FBI in Prince George's County is the pinnacle, a high point that we've reached through commitment, dedication, and a lot of hard work. All along, public servants have planted seeds in this community, hoping one day to watch them flourish, bettering the lives of the people we serve. Now that the FBI is coming home to Prince George's County, we are all overjoyed to watch as our community flourishes. This project will permanently grow our local economy. In fact, this project will be completed with a project labor agreement that ensures fair, well-paid jobs. Yes. Well-paid jobs for thousands of workers. The new FBI headquarters will permanently improve the lives of Prince Georgians, and it will permanently improve access to opportunities across the state of Maryland. So I am so grateful that the GSA has selected Greenbelt, and I want to thank every Prince Georgian for supporting us as we pursue this once-in-a-generation opportunity. This is an incredible, special moment, and today we are all so Prince George's proud. Now, I'd like to hand the mic over to another partner. We have many, many partners who have worked with us over the years. This has been truly a love for not only Prince George's County, but this has been a Team Maryland effort, and we are led by absolutely incredible leaders on the state level. I am going to introduce the Senate President. The Speaker of the House is also here, but I am just so grateful to them. They have battled hard to make sure that resources came back to Prince George's County. I mentioned a few of them, the $200 million that they helped us set aside because they too believed that this day was coming and that we would need that funding, the funding, the $400 million for the Blue Line Corridor. They stood side by side with us demanding that it happen along with our comptroller. So I want to welcome to the podium Senate President Bill Ferguson and thank him so much for his partnership and for his leadership.
Good morning, Prince George's. Good morning, Maryland. Good morning. To the men and women of the Federal Bureau of Investigations, to the field officers, to the attorneys, to the paralegals, to the maintenance staff, to the food service workers, to the custodians, to all of the individuals that make up our FBI, welcome to Prince George's. What we are celebrating here today is the beginning of what 50 years from now we will look back and say was a transformative moment, not just for Prince George's County, not just for the state of Maryland, but for these United States. This is the right place at the right time, in the right moment, here and now, for the FBI to come to Greenbelt. You know, Mr. Governor, I think there's an important lesson here. If you need to get something done, if you need somebody to find a, really build a team, pull people together, make sure that that something really happens, you call on a Senate President. And in this case, a former Senate President, Steny Hoyer, who, yeah, you play the crowd, right? No. In all seriousness, the beauty, and I joke about the role as being a presiding officer, here's the lesson that you learn. You do nothing on your own. Every single thing you get done gets done because you have a team around you. These incredible leaders behind me are that team that were able to make this happen. But I was so incredibly fortunate to have 4 incredible champions who are here with me today, senators in the Maryland Senate, who from day one knew how important this was. From the chair of the Prince George's County delegation, Michael Jackson, to our president pro tem, my partner in this work, Malcolm Augustine, to the wonderful senator who has been just an unbelievable champion for this county, Ron Watson. And before I announce the last person, I want to tell a very, very quick story, which was, at the end of this session, when we knew that this possibility was here and that Maryland was going to have an interview for this final site selection, one brand new senator, first year in the Senate, came up, said, I need a meeting. I said, all right, let's sit down. He said, we have to do whatever we possibly can to get this done. We need to make sure that by the time we leave here, we have put everything forward. We need a resolution that is unanimously approved in this body that says Prince George's County is the place where the FBI is going to be made its home. Senator Alonzo Washington was the person that made that happen. And it happened because of teamwork. What did it say? Final point. I won't go into all the details. All it said essentially was, when the FBI comes to Maryland, we can and will do whatever it takes to make it a success. And that will not and cannot happen without my incredible partner in this work on the other side of the hall, Speaker Adrienne Jones.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And I was thinking to myself, how do I not repeat a lot has been done? But it's my pleasure to join all of you in celebration of the relocation of the FBI headquarters to Maryland. And I really want to emphasize, when you look at this team behind me, I'm mentioning them because we couldn't have done it without everyone's being involved, and you as well that are actually live in the area. And I'm saying that because, like a lot of you, I go to conferences and I ask, how things are going on, and they have no clue. They don't talk to each other. They don't, they really are very negative in terms of what their chambers are, etc. But this group, we talk to each other. You know what's going on, and part of it has to do with a lot of them cut your teeth in either the House and the Senate, but the others just know that we're I don't think anyone is against anybody up here, and that's not, we cannot say that in other states. And I especially wanted to congratulate and thank Congressman Hoyer and our congressional delegation, all of you, for your hard work on this. And I know there were many hurdles along the way, but they got the job done, all of us, because, as I said, we talk to each other. Earlier this year, I issued a renewed call to government service in the state of Maryland. Oh, I didn't leave you out, Governor. And Lieutenant Governor. Yeah, because she cut her teeth.
That's right, she sure did.
But you came to
That's how I learned everything.
But you came to got a hearing, so you knew a whole lot of things. The relocation of the FBI bill to Greenbelt represents an opportunity to fulfill this mission. We're going to produce a new generation of public servants in Maryland and create thousands of new job opportunities in historically underserved communities. I've seen the impact a good job in government service can have. In fact, actually lived it. I began my career in public service over 40 years ago. In that time, it has given me purpose and shown me I can do things I never thought were possible, and that's what I try to share with others. I've seen the impact with my friends and neighbors who have gone to work at the Social Security Administration in Baltimore County, with those who work for the Census Bureau and NASA here in Prince George's County, and with those who work for NIH in Montgomery County. Some have discovered lifelong careers, while others gain valuable skills before moving on to the next opportunity. But all of them found good paying jobs, strong benefits, and economic mobility for the middle class. Maryland has a proud tradition of serving on behalf of the entire country. That's because we get it right. We make sure every American is counted. We help put the first Americans in space. We help map the genetic code, and we'll keep America safe from crime as we deal with our own in this area. Not in this area, in this state. The relocation of the FBI building to Greenbelt builds on this strong tradition, and those who worked to bring it here have changed the lives of thousands of public servants and their families in Prince George's County. Unfortunately, in some places, being a bureaucrat has tuned into a bad punchline. But in Maryland, it means helping build a better, safer, more equitable country. Our shared victory today is one we can all be proud of. But a lot of work remains, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you. Right. And with that, another trailblazer, our controller, Brooke Learman. Come on down.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thanks, guys. You know, I thought she was going to say another former House member. Yeah. Just saying. But good morning. I think it's still morning. Good morning, everybody. It is so wonderful to be here with all of you. This is a truly thrilling day, an incredible week in the history of the FBI and in the history of Maryland and Prince George's County. I want to start by thanking and commending our leader, Leader Hoyer, who I loved that our county executive called the quarterback. We are in the season. Instantly, it brought to mind, so who's the tight end? Who's the wide receiver up here? Who's running it in for a touchdown? But the truth is that this whole team, they ran into the end zone together, right? And that is what is so powerful about this team. Yeah. Thank you, Governor, for really taking that ball and running with it, and to our senators as well. The decision to move the FBI national headquarters to Greenbelt, Maryland, is the right one and was a clear choice. And I want to talk a little bit about why that is. I may have only be the revenue administrator, the tax collector for the state of Maryland for a little under a year, but I like to think I know something about best value. And that has to do with why the FBI needed to come here. This was the right choice because Maryland is home to a talented, diverse workforce, as well as several allied federal, local, and state agencies that will provide incredibly important support to the Bureau in its important work. It's the right choice because Maryland has access to truly critical transportation infrastructure. And I know, because I stood outside that metro a lot of mornings during the campaign. And it has the ability to accommodate the facility that the agency needs. And we know that it is the best value for taxpayer dollars. Not just Maryland taxpayers, but American taxpayers around the country should be applauding this decision by the GSA to ensure that we are getting best value for our tax dollars. And finally, it's the right choice because FBI team members, they deserve to work in a place that's diverse, that's accessible to multiple types of transit, that offers a variety of housing options. And I know personally, in fact, that it's a great place to work because I worked here in the federal courthouse as a judicial law clerk. So I know that Greenbelt is a wonderful place to spend your days. Finally, I want to just note that there's a little bit of historic symbolism in this decision as well. It was President Theodore Roosevelt who in 1908 created the investigative wing within the Department of Justice that is today's Federal Bureau of Investigations. And then it was several decades later that it was President Franklin and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt who personally reviewed the plans for the development of Greenbelt, Maryland as part of the New Deal. So from Teddy Roosevelt to Franklin and Eleanor, I just have to imagine that they are looking down today and seeing it all come full circle. So I look forward to working with my partners on the Board of Public Works, with my partners in state and federal government here in Maryland to providing support and assistance in helping to move this process forward. While more than 400 people already work out of the Baltimore field office, we are excited to welcome thousands more FBI personnel to our great state, and we are all Prince George's proud today. So thank you, congratulations, and onwards. And now, I am so excited.